Welcome to the Workforce Connections podcast, where we discuss workforce development in Southern Nevada. Here's your host.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the WC podcast. Today, we have two very special guests, Brett Harris, Labor Commissioner for the state of Nevada, and Toni Giddens, Director of the Nevada State Apprenticeship Council. We are going to talk all about apprenticeships today, and we're excited to have you here, so welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
We're happy you're here. We like to start the podcast by sharing with our audience, our guests, where they were born, grew up, and went to school. So, Brett, let's start with you. Where were you born? Where did you grow up? Went to elementary, middle, high school. Take us to your first job at a high school.
Sure. Well, again, thank you so much for having us. Toni and I love the opportunity to speak about apprenticeship. So I was born in Chicago, Illinois, and my dad was a lawyer, which I'm a lawyer now. And in 1992-ish, he got tired of the snow, he got tired of the stairs in our house, and he got tired of being a lawyer. So he moved us to Nevada. He thought he was going to be a professional handicapper. He took the bar 2 years later. Mm-hmm. So I grew up in Boulder City and went to elementary school out there, went to middle school out there. My first job was actually before high school. I started cleaning exercise equipment at my dance studio when I was 12. Nice. And then I became a teacher's assistant. And then I went to Las Vegas Academy for dance. So that's my Nevada journey. And then when I graduated from LVA, I went to New York and I went to NYU for undergrad and then came back here and went to UNLV Boyd Law School.
Wow, what a journey. Thank you. Toni, what about you? What does your journey look like?
So I was born in San Diego, California, to a Navy family. So I have lived all over the country, in one particular place, gone to school all over the country. I did graduate from high school at 16 years of age and started college 2 weeks after I turned 17. So my first job out of high school was actually student working on the campus of the college that I went to. I only stayed at that campus. I was in Minnesota for about 2 years and then we moved back to San Diego. I graduated from National University with both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in human resources management and have been working in that field ever since.
Nice. So thank you for sharing that personal side of your journey. Now we're going to pivot to the professional side. All of our guests share pivotal moments in their life that kind of shaped why they became a boxer or a policeman. In this case, Brett, you went to NYU and then you came back here and did law school. What moments in your life shaped your professional journey that perhaps said, "Oh, I want to study law," or that now said, "I want to be the labor commissioner for the state"? Share with us some of those pivotal moments.
Sure. So I was somebody that went straight through from high school to college to graduate school. I would recommend that to nobody. Your brain is not fully developed. Go and do things and then go back to grad school. But I digress. So when I got out of grad school, I kind of had a bit of a panic moment because I was like, I don't even know if I like this and I'm going to do it forever. And I did. I also graduated law school in 2011. So we were still in the recession. The job market was not good. I'd started out my legal career doing insurance defense, which if there are any lawyers listening to this podcast that started their career in Nevada, they probably did as well. And then I did the plaintiff's PI side. So all the billboard lawyers, I did that for a bit. And then I kind of pivoted and started my own thing for a while. I was doing criminal defense work. I was doing a lot of public defender work in municipal courts, so lower level misdemeanors.
And the cities here, the municipalities here?
Yep, primarily in Henderson. Okay. And then, the pandemic happened and I had joined the Employee Management Relations Board for the state. And I'd had a daughter, and I was feeling a little bit too soft for criminal defense, and I just sort of needed something different. So working on the EMRB, the governor at the time, his chief of staff came to me and said, you've been recommended that we discuss the labor commissioner position with you that had been open for a couple of months, and would you be interested in doing that? And I feel comfortable saying this now. I said, what is that? Right. But I went in and I got to meet our amazing team and get a sense of the great work that office does, and it just felt drawn to it, and I felt like I should say yes, even though I didn't really have any idea what I was getting myself into, and I did. And it was probably one of the, if not the best career decision I ever made. This is the most fun I've ever had in a job, other than when I used to teach dance in high school. And, you know, a big part of that is the apprenticeship program. Toni was my first hire, and I scream that from the rooftops because I think we make a really good team, and we've done a lot of great work together. And I don't think either of us really knew what we were getting ourselves into when we first got here.
It looks like you make a great team. And today we're going to talk about some of that great work. When you said PI, that means personal injury?
Yes, okay. Sorry, yeah.
No, I kind of thought that was, when you said billboards, that kind of helped.
Yes.
And when you taught dance, was that in a high school here in town?
Yes, I went to Las Vegas Academy, which is the performing arts high school right here downtown.
You taught as a student?
I taught at my dance studio.
Oh, gotcha.
So I went to high school, and then I also took private lessons, and then I taught private lessons.
Where you taught the private studio.
Yes.
Awesome.
So it was my whole life. It was my whole world.
That's awesome. So Toni, same question. What about you? What pivotal moments shaped your professional journey?
So right after completing my master's degree in human resources, I relocated here to Las Vegas and found myself in human resources in the gaming industry. It was a very interesting transition from other business-related experience I'd had. Spent a few years doing that, moved around to a couple other industries as HR director, and then it fell into my lap. I am the daughter and the spouse of a veteran, and there was a program that was being developed called Work for Warriors, and they needed somebody with passion and the experience to guide that, and I took that opportunity on and was able to build and develop that across the state. And so workforce just became my passion in building that. And I grew that to a very large degree, but I had a whole team of very talented folks behind me, and it was time for me to move on and to give them the ability to take it and run as well. And I happened to have a connection with one of the gentlemen that works in human resources for the state. We actually helped him in his transition from the military. And I reached out to him and said, Doug, what's out there? What's available that you think I might be qualified for? And he sent me this position.
Wow.
And I applied and interviewed, and I couldn't be happier. It is everything that I would have wanted to help build great things for individuals to get great opportunities to earn a living and be successful. And the best part is that it's free to them. They get to do this and not incur the debt that the rest of us incurred.
Yeah. It's interesting how life is, because you and I have that in common. I don't remember a time in my life when I said, part of my career journey is I want to be the executive director of the local workforce development board. You probably never were thinking I want to be the director of the Nevada State Apprenticeship, Council. But here we are, right? And jobs that we love. That's really good. Brett, back to you. Now that we know you're the labor commissioner, give us an overview of that office, right? Why does that office exist? The Office of the Labor Commissioner of Nevada, how it supports both workers and employers across Nevada.
Yes, so I call us the little agency that could. We're currently still appropriating some additional positions from the past legislative session. Mm-hmm. Once we get all of those, we will be an agency of 31 total, which is still not very big. Right. When I got this agency in 2022, there were 22 people. So we've added quite a few. That being said, our primary responsibility is private employment regulation, and that ends up looking mostly like wage and hour claims. So we have an extremely large claim volume operation. We receive about 5,000 to 6,000 unique private employment claims a year. That's before we count any public works claims which are prevailing wage, and our responsibility to regulate apprentices on public works projects. We do licensing. We license professional employer organizations and private employment agencies. We handle any regulation in private employment that is not designated to another agency. And we house the Nevada State Apprenticeship Council, which registers apprenticeship programs and serves a lot of regulatory and compliance functions. So we are we're a small agency with a lot of regulatory responsibilities, but I think we do a pretty good job. At least we're trying to keep up with those. One thing I'm very proud of is we started an initiative to increase the wages we're collecting for Nevadans. And in just a 1 month focus, we've been able to add almost $1 million to our wage collection. So that's not money that goes to the state. It's not money that goes to the Office of the Labor Commissioner. It is money that goes directly to claimants that are making claims with our office, and we are recovering wages that are owed to them by the law. We do a lot of private employer outreach. So what that ends up looking like is we do stuff like this. We do seminars or teachings. I do a lot of instruction, a lot of education, a lot of, going to businesses or going to workforce groups or other interested industries and kind of talking about what private employment issues might affect them, what they need to be cognizant of, where the pitfalls are. I like to say I practice preventative labor care, right? When I tell you we have 9,000 unique matters a year, that is not a made up number. I can show you how that breaks down, which means that I don't need to generate claims myself, and I'm happy to help and give answers to employers. I like to tell employers, please reach out to us. Please ask the question. I will not initiate a claim for actions that have not been taken yet, but we can help guide you as to what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, the scope that you have described is very broad. And so for our audience, could you give us, obviously without names of people or companies, but a small, simple example of what a claim would be?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you our most common ones would be final paychecks. So the law says that if somebody quits, their final paycheck is due either within 7 days or the next pay period, whichever occurs first. And the law says that if an individual is fired, that their pay is due immediately, but the law gives you a 3-day grace period to pay it. Once those periods pass, then penalty wages can start accruing, which are also paid to the claimant. So our most common, I'm talking 4,000 out of the 6,000 are final paycheck claims. So just people who didn't get paid at the end of their employment.
I wouldn't have thought that that's a common occurrence, that people are getting either terminated for whatever reason and not receiving their check.
So
Wow.
oftentimes it's a misunderstanding. Sometimes simply filing with us can get them paid. Sometimes they've been paid by the time we send out the notice letter.
Okay.
And I would say 99% of employers, once we tell them what they are supposed to be doing, just do it and just follow the law and just don't know any better. And then you have the 1% where we have to, go all the way to a hearing, and I have to write an order telling them explicitly why they are incorrect.
Okay. Wow, that's interesting. This is part of what I love the podcast. I'm always learning stuff as well.
Absolutely.
So, but you did say that, of course, the Nevada State Apprenticeship Council rolls into the agency. So, Toni, explain to us the role of the Apprenticeship Council, how it fits into Nevada's workforce system.
Sure, absolutely. So the Nevada State Apprenticeship Council plays a role in connecting apprenticeship programs to Nevada's larger workforce development system. Myself, along with the council, provide oversight and quality assurance, approving and registering programs, and ensuring that those programs meet both the state and federal qualifications for standards, for safety, and consistency. That's the biggest piece for us, is we want to ensure that all the programs that are registered in this state are consistent in the type of training and on-the-job experience they're providing, so that we're getting qualified workers. There's no shortcuts to this. So, my office and the Apprenticeship Council, we act as a bridge between apprenticeship regulation and the need that employers have in the workplace, and making those apprenticeships available to train their future workforce.
Great, thank you for that explanation. One of the things that I observed, in Nevada until now, there's been a dichotomy about, apprenticeships. When we're very proud of the infrastructure here in our town, it's world famous. The Strip and all of the hotels and the casinos, the convention centers, now stadiums, arenas for multiple professional sports. It's all built, by these trades that have apprenticeship programs that, again, are magnificent training centers, multi-million-dollar, training facilities, again, worldwide. People try to model them, if you will. But we have had until now some difficulty, and I think I see that changing, and you guys are playing a role in that, where we're going to also, apprenticeships are not only about the trades, right? There's non-traditional apprenticeships, And again, there's this dichotomy of, we want it, but to get there, what's the price and all these things that we're right now, I think, figuring out. So, Brett, the next question is for you. What opportunities do you see available in Nevada to grow apprenticeships? Where are you seeing the most growth or demand for them?
So starting in the traditional apprenticeship space, which would be the trades, right? So the apprenticeship model is traditionally thought of in the construction trades, so electricians, operating engineers, laborers. And we have a lot of need for that. As you mentioned, both Southern and Northern Nevada are building like crazy. I think I was up in Northern Nevada recently, and I was hearing about crews on data center projects, getting six-figure checks. So the work is there. One thing that the Office of the Labor Commissioner does is set the prevailing wage, which is construction minimum wage on a public project. And for example, an electrician's construction minimum wage is $80 an hour, right? So, and these people are working way overtime, round the clock, making so much money. There's money to be made. And that's not just electricians, that's all laborers, operating engineers, carpenters, sheet metal workers, plumbers, all of, if you would like to see all of the classifications we set, you can find it on our website, labor.nv.gov. But we also have so much need in the non-traditional spaces. So one of Toni and my goals when we started and we kind of assessed what we had just come upon is how can we take this model, which is a great model, and use it to address multiple levels of needs here, right? Number one, the cost of education has gotten extreme. I think some of the Ivy League East Coast schools, some of the West Coast schools, they've hit $100,000 a year in cost. That is not sustainable or attainable for your average person. I certainly could not have gone to college if it cost $100,000 a year, and it did and that was not quite 20 years ago. Right. So we wanted to take that model and inspire other industries where it's appropriate to use it to provide pay-as-you-learn training. And it does require employer buy-in, and it's not right for every industry. You cannot pigeonhole it into some industries, but it is working really well in some of the industries we've expanded it to. So,
can you give us some examples?
Yes, absolutely, and I'll let Toni jump in too. But one of our big missions is we came in and I said, Toni, go find non-traditional programs. Specifically, we wanted a teacher apprenticeship program. We all know the situation that Nevada, particularly Southern Nevada, is in when it comes to teachers. We need to start growing our own. And we had this issue where teacher training required an unpaid time period, which is a luxury that most people cannot do. So a teacher apprenticeship program eliminates that time period, teaches, pays as you go. You get in the class training, and Toni has worked really closely with the program to expand it statewide. It services how many counties now?
10 counties.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's the biggest teacher apprenticeship program in the country. We also have the Culinary Academy program, which I think is so neat. I think if I could do it all over again, I would go to culinary school. We have some programs in healthcare. And Toni, what other programs are you really excited about these days?
The one thing that I'm really excited about, and that was another goal that Brett and I set together, was to build intermediaries. Because apprenticeship on its own for individual businesses is not always an option. It can be a heavy load for businesses themselves. So we wanted to create that intermediary, that piece where they are the support. They bring in the businesses and can support their administration of that program, as well as financially through grants and other possible state funding that's available to them. And I'm so excited to say that we are getting that off the ground next month. We have our first intermediary with Nevada Works, and I know that you guys are great partners with them, and the ABA2 grant that they have in supporting that. Right now we have healthcare occupations, as well as the one I'm really excited for. They're actually doing a workforce professional occupation to really assist in moving this forward. So we're really excited about that, and we're excited to see the next generation. Another piece that we're working on with them is advanced manufacturing. We know that that's becoming a huge workforce need here with all of the organizations that are moving to Nevada. And so that's going to be our next step with that, is that workforce piece for advanced manufacturing and building that.
And obviously the name Haas comes up a lot here.
Absolutely.
Because it's like our, what Tesla was in the north, Haas can be here in Southern Nevada, a worldwide manufacturer whose machines make the other machines that make things across the world. You mentioned our partners. For context, for those of our audience who don't know, Nevada Works is like Workforce Connections. They are the board for Northern Nevada, and they are the recipient of that grant, and they've made us a partner in that grant. So as we, hopefully with your help, identify more and more employers who are a good fit for certain occupations, certain industries, we hope to also grow in that role of intermediary to help more employers start apprenticeship programs. Another reason I think, Toni, that you're here is an event that's coming up, and we're going to put this information on the screen, but it's called the Apprenticeship Week No Debt Career Fair. And of course, when I talk, we have 3 union representatives on the local workforce board as required by law. So we have the sheet metal folks, the labor folks, but also the LSET Trust, LECET Trust, if you will. And so they always talk about, this is the other 4-year college program, but the one without debt, right? Mm-hmm. And so tell us a little bit about this event, who should go, what resources will be, available, and how it's going to help connect Nevadans to career opportunities without student loans.
Absolutely. We're so excited about this. And I use that term when I'm out. I go out to the high schools a lot and go out and do a lot of networking for the apprenticeship programs. And I've had parents question, and I said, this isn't an alternative college. This is an alternative career pathway. And so this is an exciting event. We're so excited to bring together not only all of our apprenticeship programs, but also other programs throughout the state that offer either low-cost or no-cost training, everything from medical assistant to paralegal to the traditional trades. Our teacher apprenticeship program will be there. We are bringing in the Nevada Business Hub, Department of Social Services to be a total wraparound program so that anybody coming in, if there's any barrier to them entering any one of these programs, we're also offering that. We're bringing in the Department of Rehabilitation as well to offer assistance. So we're really excited. And this career fair is really aimed at high school students who are looking at what that high school is going to look like after for them, the career levels that they're looking for, current job seekers if they haven't found something that's working for them, and career changers, right? Sometimes we've got ourselves in a career that's not really us. We've figured it out. This is the perfect way to go see what else is available without adding any more debt to that debt you might already have from your previous education.
I love it. And it's 2 dates and 2 locations, April 28th here in Southern Nevada and May 1st in Northern Nevada.
Correct. And we've got great partners. Of course, the Culinary Academy of Las Vegas is our host for the April 28th. They also hold one of our apprenticeship programs there for a professional cook, and their apprentices will be conducting demonstrations during the event and feeding everyone. Yeah. And then Northern Nevada, we will be at the technical campus at Truckee Meadows Community College, where they also host one of our advanced manufacturing programs.
Right. So again, I'm glad that we're doing this today because we want to encourage our audience to attend this no-cost free event, because there's going to be plenty of resources to connect people to a no-debt career. And I think this is a good moment. A lot of us that are in this workforce world understand what an apprenticeship program is, but why don't you give us a very simple, everybody can understand definition about what Earn While You Learn is?
It gives you the opportunity, unlike traditional, where you're sitting in the classroom 3-4 days a week. You may have a lab here or there, and then you finish your degree or finish your program and go and then try to get into a job and put that into practice. Well, this adds them both at the same time. This gives you the ability to have that classroom or online learning experience, the lab experience, and take that the very next day onto the job, put that into practice, to have mentorship and guidance from those seniors in that profession that can guide you, make sure and point you in the right direction to ensure that you are learning everything as correctly and as precisely as you need to be successful in that career. And the huge benefit of that, of course, in this is that there is no debt for the educational piece, and you are earning a living wage while you are getting this education.
Yeah. It sounds like a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, and I just want to make sure that it's clear. So apprenticeship doesn't mean, anytime somebody sort of takes you under their wing and teaches you things one-on-one. And you can be a casual apprentice. But what Toni and I deal with are registered apprenticeship programs that enroll bona fide apprentices, meaning that people that are, well, first of all, the program has gone through the council to make sure that its actual standards comply with federal and state law, and that the instruction and the training is measured in a time or competency approach, and that the wages that the apprentice earns as they go are a livable wage. So this is not free labor. It is not cheap labor. It is meant to be on-the-job career training where you are paying somebody from the beginning an amount of money that they don't have to go get 2 or 3 jobs on.
Usually the trades are 4-year apprenticeship programs before you become a journeyman, but that doesn't mean that every registered apprenticeship program has to be 4 years.
No, we have apprenticeship programs that range from 1 year to 5 years. And the other benefit of these registered apprenticeship programs and the attendance is that upon completion, you have a nationally recognized credential. You receive both a state and DOL certificate of your training that is nationally recognized.
And I think in this world across the nation, some states have the federal, governance, and some states have the state. Can you explain that to us? Because that is also nebulous for a lot of people.
We would love you to. Yeah. This is my passion topic.
Good.
Okay. Can I start?
Absolutely.
So sorry. So I get nerdy about the compliance stuff. Okay. So the federal government, the United States DOL, has 2 types of operations when it comes to the states and recognizing apprenticeship. So a state can either be an Office of Apprenticeship state, which means that that state does not register programs for purposes of federal registration. They only register them, if at all, for state, and then the federal government itself takes responsibility for registering programs for the federal level. A state apprenticeship agency, which is what Nevada is, registers programs for both the state's purposes and the federal government. So basically what that means is that the United States Department of Labor has said, okay, Nevada, we trust you to register not only for yourself, but also for us, that you are competent to review the standards, determine if they meet the requirements both of federal and state law. And so we get to do that for both. What that benefit that does for the programs that are in Nevada and the apprentices that are in Nevada, as Toni said, when you finish a program, you are recognized as finishing both a state and a federal program. And then the programs themselves only have to register once with us because we recognize them both for state and federal purposes. If you are not recognized as a state apprenticeship agency, you'd have to dual register. So if Nevada were to lose its recognition status by the federal government, what would happen is they would come in and they would start registering on their own. And then you could get a situation where you have programs that are federally registered and not state registered and vice versa, and the right hand's not talking to the left.
Okay. Yeah, that really helps. I think a lot of people can't decipher through what you just went through, so that's helpful for our audience. Let's shift gears now, because I'm hoping that you two ladies do find time to take a break from this passion that is yours, and this work that you do as a great team, and you can find time to recharge your batteries, renew your energies. So share with us how you do that with your families or by yourself. What hobbies, activities refill your cup so you can go back on Monday and do this work all over again? Brett, let's start with you.
So I have a family. I'm very close with my parents. Still live nearby. My mom moved down the street, basically. My dad still lives in Boulder City, and I have a 7-year-old and a husband and a dog. So they keep me very busy. But I also am a pretty big runner, athlete. I like outside activity and athletic activity and crazy workouts and hot boot camp and hot yoga. And then I've always liked cooking, but I've gotten into sourdough. So there's usually 3 or 4 loaves in various states in my house.
Wow. No more dancing?
Honestly, my body can't move the way it used to, and so it's almost like I don't want to do it if I can't do it how I remember it. But that's okay, because distance running is its own new physical challenge, or I have great goals to one day do a triathlon. So hopefully keep myself moving.
That's all awesome. How about you, Toni?
I am married to a 28-year Army veteran. We had 4 children, all of whom are adults and live in other states now. I also have 2 beautiful granddaughters that I love and spend countless hours FaceTiming to make sure we stay connected. My husband and I love Nevada's great outdoors. We love to go out riding. We are those outdoorsy 4x4s. We have razor wheel travel.
Wow.
We love that. And because we are empty nesters now, traveling has become a huge passion of ours. And we're getting ready to go this summer to Croatia again and explore more and learn more about other cultures.
So cool. Razor is like a Raptor, right? Is those 4-seaters?
Yes.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That is so cool. So one of the things that that I love about this podcast is we always end with a question that transfers knowledge from you to somebody in our audience that relates to you. We might have a young girl who is 16, 17, 18 and thinking about her professional journey and has heard you and found a place where, again, she can relate to you because she loves dance or because she's a military brat or, and so they say, wow, I would love to one day head up a SET agency. I would love to be involved in apprenticeship. And so what advice would you give them? What would you draw from your success and the fulfillment you get today? Because I can tell you're passionate about your job. You've landed where you want to be. How does a young person set that course, and what lessons in life you would say helped you get there? You can transfer them and say, hey, focus on this 1, 2, 3 things. Let's start with you, Brett.
So I would say don't be afraid to pivot. The sunk cost fallacy is just that. It's a fallacy. The time passes anyway. You might as well spend it doing things that you enjoy. If you do not like something, do not torture yourself. Find something else. Wear sunscreen.
That's good.
Wear sunscreen. Move your body. And do the things while you're young that are high risk, potentially high reward, but that you have to think long term, and that once you kind of develop roots, whether it's assets, people, jobs, whatever, you become a lot less able to move around until you're Toni and all the roots kind of go plant their own roots. So do the big things that you think you want to do, even if you're scared, and say yes. Say yes.
Good advice. I love it. Toni, how about you?
I think it's explore, take the chances, go out and have the experiences, do volunteer work. Don't say no unless it's something that it's absolutely not you. And nothing is failure. Everything is just a learning experience. Pivot. You take that and learn and go from there and just keep moving forward. And the only what people think of you doesn't matter. Your perception, as long as you're doing good things and moving forward, it's only your perception that matters.
I love that. I can see why you guys are such a great team, because even though you have very different backgrounds, you think very much alike. You align in your values, you align in your outlook in life. And so I'm sure you've inspired more than one young person, not just girls, boys, to think about their journey, and that maybe apprenticeship can be a part of it, because it could be 1 to 5 years. It can be in multiple industries now. It's not just in the trades. And so I want to thank you for being here on the WC podcast today. And I look forward to another opportunity where we can maybe come and talk about how this fair went, or how we started. We began our journey as an intermediary like Nevada Works. Would love to have you back again on the podcast one day.
I would love that.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it for another episode of the WC Podcast. We're going to help the crews that make this happen behind the scenes, our guests, and we hope to see you at the next episode. Until then, stay safe. Okay, Brett and Toni, thank you for staying over to do our bonus segment, In the Hot Seat. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Never been more ready.
A series of rapid fire questions are coming your way. Let's start with an easy one. Brett, your favorite food?
Sushi.
Toni?
Mexican.
Brett, your favorite beverage with dinner?
Sparkling water.
Toni?
A glass of wine.
Favorite dessert after dinner? Brett?
Cupcakes.
Toni?
Ice cream.
Favorite,
I like yours better.
favorite way to start your day? Brett?
Reality television.
Toni?
A nice cuddle session with my dog.
Ooh, cute. Favorite way to unwind after a long day? Brett.
Reality television.
Toni.
Flowing through TikTok.
Favorite hobby or weekend activity?
Making sourdough.
Going out riding in the desert.
Favorite vacation spot?
Europe.
Croatia.
Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Thanksgiving.
Favorite car you've ever owned?
A Blazer.
Ford Bronco.
Favorite college sports team?
My husband will make me say the Ohio State.
UNLV Running Rebels.
Nice.
Oh, that was better than mine.
Favorite professional sports team?
The Bengals.
The San Diego Padres.
Favorite Las Vegas professional sports team?
The Aces.
Vegas Golden Knights.
Nice. It is, I think, more convenient to go first, so we're going to switch the sequence next time to give Brett a fair advantage. So you did great on your favorites. The next segment is called Tough Choices. So I'm going to give you, two things, and hopefully you can pick one. Now, again, there's no strong rules here. You can say, I'll take both if you have to, right? So the first tough choice is, and I'm going to start with Toni this time, vacation or staycation?
Vacation.
Vacation.
The next one, fly there or drive there?
Fly there.
Fly there.
When you get there, hotel or Airbnb?
Hotel.
Hotel. I don't do chores.
When you retire, and you have to pay for it, so that's good. When you retire one day, will it be in the city or in the ranch?
In the ranch.
By a water body.
If you had a day all by yourself, and I think I know Brett's answer already here, would you rather spend it by the ocean or in the mountains?
By the ocean, definitely.
In the mountains.
Wow. Because there's lakes there too,
I would
right?
pick a lake body, yes. The word lake wasn't coming to me.
Very good. It starts to get more difficult. Remember, it's called Tough Choices. Having more time or having more money?
More time.
Time.
The ability to fly, if you were a superhero, the ability to fly or breathe underwater?
Breathe underwater.
Fly.
The ability to speak with animals or to speak any foreign language?
Speak with animals.
Any foreign language.
The toughest part about this, you got to pick between two things, truth or kindness?
Kindness.
I think the truth is kind.
Actions or words?
Actions.
Actions.
Justice or grace?
Justice.
Justice.
Well, you guys made it through Tough Choices. Very good. The last segment is called Finish the Sentence. I'm going to give you about 95% of a sentence. You're going to finish it for me. I'm going to start with Brett again. Brett, if you can visit any place in the world, it would be?
Croatia.
Toni?
Japan.
The best part about living in Southern Nevada is?
The weather. Not in the summer.
Exciting shows.
Your favorite thing about your job as Nevada Labor Commissioner is?
Getting people paid.
Toni, your favorite part of your job as the director of the Apprenticeship Council is?
Creating exciting new apprenticeship opportunities.
Brett, if you can travel back in time to any year, it would be you would travel to?
I wouldn't, because I don't want to disrupt the butterfly effect.
Ooh, awesome.
I would travel back in time to make a few different choices in my youth.
Nice. You would break the matrix, Brett. Brett, 3 words that describe you are?
Energetic. Passionate. A lot.
Very good. Toni, 3 words that describe you are?
Passionate, compulsive, and kind.
You guys are like twinsies, huh? And doing the WC podcast here with us today was?
Fun.
It was fun.
Awesome. Well, I thank you for being here and staying over to do our bonus segment in the hot seat.
Thank you.